So tell me, why should you be excited for Kindred Fates?
It's so goddamn fluffy.
Come here.
Kindred Fates is a third-person open-world RPG which is currently being developed and is slated for release in 2023. It is excitingly looking to change and adapt the monster battle genre as we know it. With our main protagonist, we seek out and help local kinfolk who are affected by the restless fog, which reverts the enemy kinfolk to a primal savage state. Using exciting 3D motion controls, we battle other kinfolk in explosive and incredibly fast-paced combat. Upon our victory, we are able to capture the now pacified kinfolk. With expansive terrain, we see exciting opportunities for different kinfolk local to each area. The game has taken inspiration from Breath of the Wild type aesthetics and explorative nature to combine pre-existing well-loved tropes to define itself as something more than the sum of its parts. Legendaries are confirmed and are incredibly impactful and destructive in this game. Truly, this world is a dark, grittier place than competitive titles that preceded. This monster catcher game ekes out a niche that most Pokemon Nuzlocke fans will recognise. If your kinfolk dies, it's dead for good. There is a small exception where one of your party is protected at a time, but other than that, you are straight out of luck. Kinfolk have unique and expressive personalities. They're able to communicate with you and are seen performing jobs in the universe. I hope you're prepared to be traumatized when you lose your mini friends. Please remember everything is alpha and subject to change at this point. So type matchups in this game matter, and they don't. There is no super effective damage, but some types fare better against certain types by playstyle. Confused? Good, so was I. Each companion I'll be introducing from this point will have a demographic that explains it better. So first up is my favourite so far, the unofficial mascot, Auburn. Whatever happens, this is definitely going on my team. I can't say no to that little face. So our little doggo bear has the ability to digivolve further if they reach the right criteria. Evolving does not change stat totals, but changes the abilities and distribution of stats to fit the new evolution. So the first evolution Auburn can evolve into is K-Knight. This elegant looking wolf kinfolk has dark smoke and engages in a hit and run playstyle. The second evolution path of Auburn is M-Bear. This buff bear blasts foes with huge incendiary shots and can burst opponents down with its huge fireball explosion. The first Earth kinfolk we have is Shovelet. This happy-go-lucky adorable tank hurls meteors and traps its foes in quicksand. While slow, it can instantaneously dig to reach its foes in a pinch. The light kinfolk Lumala is a stag with a halo that fires frickin' laser beams from its head. What's more to say? The minion summoning and sleep-inducing Gaia kinfolk on screen is called Kadoki. Whilst this acorn may be irritating to face, it does allow for combo setting and further depth in gameplay. It might be adorable, but it's definitely the birth of the Antichrist manifest. Skulkin was perhaps the creature that called out to me the least upon first viewing, but since playing with this kinfolk, it has really grown on me. Skulkin is insanely satisfying to pull off when fighting. I really hope this thing evolves into a Reaper-like kinfolk. In this game, Slifer is not a Sky Dragon, but instead a mischievous raccoon-like kinfolk. This kinfolk is so incredibly fun to play, it's super fast and super agile. One of its best moves is to steal the foe's equipped item during combat. The gothic-looking Castrix is an air-type kinfolk. It will be focused around bursting down the opponent's kinfolk as fast as possible. It looks like the face was inspired by a Plague Doctor design. Full disclaimer, I'm so totally going to butcher this name, but Bakinawa is a Leviathan-type kinfolk that can be seen to be ridden by the protagonist in the Kickstarter video. Their very sleek design looks amazing and cool, and I'm going to call him Darts. Avion is an air-type kinfolk, also shown to be rideable in the Kickstarter. Avion takes inspiration from eagles and falcons, but has 2 pairs of wings that help it fly. This not yet classified or named kinfolk has been dubbed Salamurder by the community. It gives me serious Stranger Things vibes when it opens its mouth. This kinfolk really brings home the darker aspect of this world. Another not yet classified kinfolk has been called Deer Dog by the community. I think it looks more like a giant brown firehand with burning sticks more than that of a deer, but I assume this will be a fire type based off the homemade tiki torches it has. Mechid is our first look at a mecha type kinfolk. It plays a Bruiser style playstyle in that it takes a couple punches and deals a wallop of damage back. It literally rains a giant fist from the sky to hit you, so don't get fooled by its cute looking appearance. Gladius is a mecha-type kinfolk that looks regal and elegant in its design. These evolutionary stages are clearly inspired by chess pieces, and this stage of the evolution chain makes the queen look agile and destructive. Galvolant is not confirmed to be any type just yet, but it does look mechanised. The king looks more ominous and less agile than Gladius. In its royal variant skin form, it does show to have light up hands that look quite threatening and potentially hint at a more sorcery based approach. Seen only briefly in a trailer, Skymill dropped us a teaser the second I just finished my video, and I just had to edit it in. My hope for this scarecrow or marionette puppet is that it looks playful but creepy. Give us nightmare fuel. And lastly we have Nyazen. It is an all-type kinfolk and a must-have for all cat lovers out there, as its design is super expressive. What's exciting about this particular image is that Nyazen is one of the kinfolk that show off the phantom variants. Essentially, it's an exclusive rare form. Think of it as the shiny system from Pokemon, but they are confirmed to have lore as to why they have changed. I would speculate that the phantom kinfolk system is made of kinfolk that have died and transformed and given another chance lore-wise. I'm a serious shiny hunter in Pokemon, and this is another form of endgame that really hooks onto players, so this is really welcome news to me. Even my baby wolf bear Auburn looks so dapper in his phantom form. It was time for me to take the ultimate test and be the best kinfolk ally there ever was, to defeat the phenomenon of restless fog and to save the world from impending doom and suffering. Time to truly flex my muscles and become the greatest battler. There was just one problem with that. I lost every round. I goddamn sucked. But truly, this speaks to more than just my lack of ability in this game. There is a lot of depth to be found within the combat system, and we only have 7 kinfolk available, and each kinfolk has upwards of 8 to 10 abilities each. There are so many options for how you want each kinfolk to perform. With an instant cast swap out, it's important to get the right kinfolk for the job at any given moment. A good example of this being if you want your opponent off of you. Ember's Fire Spin knocks back opponents and damages them, but this more importantly can give you range to start rezoning them again with Fire Burst or an Explosion. Indeed, even synergy can be made between kinfolk teammates. An exceptional one I've noticed in Alpha is Kadoki setup. If you are able to sleep your opponent and set up its Wicked Thorns, and swap into a high burst character on the instant cast, you are able to almost KO an opponent in one combo. Next up we have items. We have a pretty standard array of items that are present in other monster catcher genres, such as heals over time or increase in damage by a portion of some of your HP. And indeed we have single use consumable items that can do large heals or cure status effects like burn or poison or sleep. We even have kinfolk that specialise in debuff and trickery, directly related to the consumables. Dark types can interact with the item slot. Cypher is one such example. Even as a null type, it is a lean kinfolk that occupies dark type qualities, in that it can steal your items and focus on removing the utility your opponent can use in combat. 2 small side notes, each kinfolk has a dodge button on shift and can sporadically dash around. My personal favourites to play as Alpha stands right now are Slifer and Ember, as they are fast paced and exciting fully fleshed out concepts. An honourable mention goes out to Shovelet, who is aesthetically pleasing, but I personally find he could be stronger, but then again I'm bad so. Also, each kinfolk is being aimed to be viable, so if you're especially attached to the base form kinfolk, you will have the same base stat total as you would on the max evolution. This in theory should mean each kinfolk should be good enough to play in a fun or competitive standard, but each evolution will have different roles to one another. I would love to discuss the gameplay more in a future video. The game is constantly in flux of updates at the moment and there are so many options. If there is an actual interest in this, I will likely do an update with the AI feature implementation that was mentioned in the July 2nd update, and go further into abilities and gameplay details there. Before we conclude, I want to say a big thank you to Andrew, Skymill's own community manager, who was pleasant enough to take an interview for myself. For those who don't know, there are 159 kinfolk in the base game. There is unlikely to be any new types, but it's not entirely discounted. They want to focus on the types they already have. Sequels or expansions aren't confirmed, but I do find the concept of additional landmass to be a better option personally. I can imagine even more interesting styles can be achieved with different cultural inspirations and diverse kinfolks around the world. All terrain shown is accessible. I really hope this means we can potentially dive in a future update. I would recommend stopping and reading this paragraph. It's a great read if you're interested in the inspiration behind the project.
Bring back the Digimon anime.
Slightly less serious, but I want them plushies, man. Imagine a Phantom Auburn plushie. Hello, Skymill. I wanted to touch on gameplay health balance, and this answer is fairly reassuring. Having devs that can observe and monitor health balance directly means we are likely to get a healthier gameplay experience in the end. Andrew quickly clarifies how differing evolutions will work. And as a thank you, I want to give Andrew a final word on what to say to the fans awaiting. To conclude, I'm a little bit obsessed with the monster catcher genre in general. I adore the concept of catching little friends and journeying around together. I hope I've managed to share the excitement I have, and maybe rub a bit off on yourselves. To me, the best part of a monster catching game is the character designs, and Kindred Fates has got this in spades. Whether the design is cool, sinister, regal, creepy, or even cute potentially in the same design, it's inspiring to see someone with fresh, new and diverse takes come in. I've played Pokemon and Digimon competitors before, and my biggest complaint is that they fail to capture multiple personalities within their monsters. When I see Kindred Fates, I see a multitude of different characters, and I'm damn impressed by the cute designs just as much as the creepy ones.
I love you, Auburn!
For me, the distinctive gameplay is just a cherry on the top. Quick-paced, exciting fighting that is difficult to master sounds optimal for the monster catcher who just wants a challenge. To me, this isn't just an installment of the monster battling genre. It's distinct and separate enough a project that I can happily say that I would easily play this and Pokemon simultaneously and feel like I'm getting a different experience. In this, I mean this project completely goes down another path from the games it's trying to emulate, and it has become its own individual thing. Too many monster battlers have tried to be the next Pokemon. Not enough have tried to be themselves, and the originality here is super refreshing. It's a step in the right direction, and I can't wait to see future updates. So why should you be excited? You should be excited for them. I truly hope you've enjoyed my first venture on this channel. I'm looking to do more why you should be excited topics on games I'm passionate on and game devs I feel deserve the recognition. A special thanks to the following people for helping me in the creation of this video. I've left attached a lovely scribble drawn by my partner. Keep well and remember to keep yourself hydrated, guys.